Data Life Season 4 is a bit of a boring, mediocre mess. I'm a huge fan of the harem genre, and Data Life holds a special place among its better titles. However, too much is sadly too much, and the show is obviously running out of ideas and character traits for its waifus. The anime was great in its first and second season, with some nudity, spice dog, and even interesting action, with well-earned and meaningful payoff. The characters had more room to breathe and present themselves on the screen. The introduction of the Temple Sisters was thematic and seemed seamless with the narrative. Their arc is the best this franchise has to offer among the many encounters with Kurumi.
Let me introduce myself. My name is Kurumi Tokisaki.
While Toka and Kurumi are still getting screen time and respect, others like Origami, Yuzuru, Kaguya, and Miku are sidelined in favor of more mundane and uninteresting girls. I guess every harem anime starts to be a bit repetitive and boring after a certain point, except for Yuna the Hot Springs. The manga is filled with new awesome characters and fun adventures. New designs and interesting battles. More than 20 volumes and the story still feels fresh, not to mention the abundance of nudity and amazing art style. When it comes to drawing naked beautiful ladies, voluptuous or petite, Yuna the Hot Springs has the best author for the job. Amazing art style and craftsmanship. It looks so clean and immersive. It puts the DxD source material to shame. Sadly, we only have one season of United Hot Springs, but now it comes to anime DxD, Love Ru are the ultimate champions of the ecchi harem genre. Data Life is a great anime. It just most waifus are lollies, and even the ones with bigger boobs are petite in stature, kind of like Love Ru, and even that amazing series is starting to run out of ideas. It seems a bit unfocused, with a bit more body types in our females. However, I still enjoyed Data Life just fine. What bothers me is that even though it has such a vast cast of characters, the show deviates from character development and adds pointless filler, or should have used its screen time to emphasize the many distinct characters and the goals instead. What is the point of having so many great girls around if they only simply get lost in the background? The ladies are at the forefront of the series.
Look, I may not have boobs, but I've got style for days, right?
Here. Is this good enough?
Nobody cares about the action in this show. We came here to see waifus get naked and act like sluts to a weird clueless protagonist. The humor is what makes or breaks these type of shows. Sadly, the protagonist ain't that much of a Chad. He's a sort of reminiscent of the old stereotype of a useless young boy who gets all the ladies, but has no idea what to do with them. Shuda is brave and instrumental in the story, but his personality is plain and boring. The mediocre harem king. This season feels burned out of ideas. It feels mediocre and kind of boring. None of its scenarios, just standard safe harem cliche, a lot of teasing without good payoff, uncreative in many ways, sadly.
Just made my heart skip a beat. Look, check me out. My spirit armor is actually pretty sexy, don't you think?
Stop! Listen!
What happens? Data Life used to have some nice fan service, some naked scenes for Origami when she was taking a shower in the first season, or swimsuits with Toka, or better yet, second season Yuzu and Kaguya, naked on the beach putting some lotion on their beautiful petite bodies. The more we see of the film about it, the more attention the harem gets. It's science, proven by Aristotle.
What did you draw, Origami?
Oh, that. It's just Shido and me becoming one.
No one's set to draw pornography!
And yet, instead of exaggerating the fan service and trying to undo the previous seasons, Data Life 4 takes a safe approach and only has small, innocent scenes of nuttiness while avoiding real nudity in a strange manner. What is happening? This anime used to have good fan service and a lot of fun ideas with colorful characters. Instead, the show is slowing down in pacing and is struggling to find now new things to bring to the table. DxD had a 4th season and it still managed to deliver a good story and even some more interesting characters with proper story arcs and motivations. DxD Hero was an amazing addition, with outrageous nudity, even more girls to fap, and some pretty funny ironic dialogue. It had heart, and you can see there was still time and motivation behind it, not simple a must to complete the story. Here the season feels like a necessary part of the narrative that has to happen to validate the previous more interesting entries in the franchise. I guess this is what bothers me the most. It feels forced, like it is necessary extension to complement the initial premise of the show. There are 12 spirits Shida has to seal to save humanity from calamity, and therefore 12 waifus to collect in his living room. It's just, if they had made them 8 or 9, the show would have been much stronger and character focused. Like this same scenario, feel weak and forced to hit the necessary number of women. I guess some might like the new waifus, but when it comes to the originality and even overall appeal, the original 6 are the best. Kotori, Toka, Yoshino, Kurumi, Yuzuru, and Kaguya. Also Origami. Make it 7, why not?
Something's just occurred to me. It's hard to wash while you're injured. I'll help. Sound good?
Whoa, thank.
The rest of the new girls are lesser waifus, as they are more background characters. Miku might be more important than most, but otherwise even the show itself is afraid to actually concentrate on the new waifus of the series. When a spirit is introduced, it's mostly the struggle of Shido and his pre-established harem at the front of the story, rather than the character itself. Kinda shows how weak and uninteresting the new waifus are in comparison with the more colorful and fun girls already introduced to and belonging the Harem King's entourage. It's sad because the art style makes the show even less appealing. Here it feels like filler for a story that was already told. Sad the new girls are not as interesting as the main ones. Miku was the last undefeated waifus of the series, and even Origami used to be a fun, dominant, and nasty slut. It's now a lot more tainting, kinda gets lost in the background. This is a crime, used to be a stand-up element of the show, even more attractive than Toka, and yet now, we have her mediocre waifu of the series. Her authentic personality is lame and boring, not to mention the fact they made her a spirit, really messed her origin story arc and taking revenge on Kotori. And being this agent always on the look for a chance to end Shido's harem.
Why do I feel like I've seen those girls somewhere before? You've been acting differently lately, Origami. What's up?
Different?
Not only are the girls her rivals, but she also opposed them in nature and ideology. It was a nice dynamic to add to the introduction of our waifus and add to be more depth and character development to an already tired story. Her authentic personality sucks. I like the show they made her, already had her, and damn right psychotic characteristics Origami displayed in the first and second season. They are so much fun.
Our manga's gonna sell fast, so you better come and get it!
I didn't see them in the catalog.
Thanks for your business!
Huh? I was
That's
just...
500 yen, please!
And a real danger to Shido and his harem. The anime, have I mentioned the opening song? It's pretty amazing. It's always a lot of fun and high bonus when the opening track is an enjoyable song with fitting vocals and a nice slideshow of what I have mentioned and what is up to come in the show. The end song is also pretty damn good. It's a major positive for the series. Having a good opening and ending really increases the enjoyment level. It makes me excited to begin the next episode. The show sabotages itself by silencing its waifus, the main focus of the series, in favor of some weak, uninteresting, and cliche narrative to hold our characters together and give us an excuse to have them all in one room together. The girls itself should be the reason they hang together, and the Harem King cannot escape their will and desire. Lovero and Yuna and the other hot springs have 12 waifus or more, yet it feels natural how these girls introduce themselves and become part of the narrative without feeling forced or awkward like here.
Yeah! While you guys were busy making the manga, we were putting these saucy outfits together.
It's just something boring to have them be so forcefully put together. It cheapens the experience, and you have so many beautiful girls who are just sitting around struggling to have a meaning, while other less interesting waifus have to be brought in and mashed together in contrived ways. Even the fight from the manga artist girl is anticlimactic. We're in for a real struggle until the bad guy appeared and a common enemy for them to unite against and reach the harem.
I can... Do you see this, Ellen?
This reminds me of Yuzuru and Kaguya were naked when they kissed Shido. Why don't we get nudity anymore in a harem anime? Why sideline and give up on the elements which made the series great? The first story arc had potential, yet I found it somewhat introvert girl. However, she's innocent. However, she's anything but innocent and prudish. She has a pretty damn strong ability to create scenarios and make people play their role, as she is drawing perverted actions in her book. However, the main reason I watched the 4th season of Date A Live is for its main waifu, and by far the most popular girl from the series, Kurumi Tokisaki. Her death voice actor is a bit of a misplacement, my humble opinion, but she's still hot, dangerous, sexual, and above all, yandere. Thankfully, she finally gets an arc. I mean, we kinda had one in the 1st season. She even referenced the date they had, as she was wearing skimpy provocative underwear.
Go ahead. Lead the way, Shido. Take me to wherever it is you had in mind.
Now they go to the same location twice, but this time we have the real deal, and it's obvious. Her tits are a lot bigger now. Weird, she looks more strange than before. No complaints here. Also, it's kind of fun. She also goes to the same high school as Shido and even jumped on the chocolate trend.
My. You all are quite the lively bunch this morning. Always good to see your face, dear Shido.
Also, I gotta mention, Kodori has been getting some love in this season. A lot of fan service, Hirokawa before, and some screen time compared to the other bitches like Kaguya, Yuzuru, Kotaro Origami, Kotori. Actually has some time dedicated to her intense relationship with her brother.
Addition. We had to make one minuscule change. Holy smokes!
This is not what it looks like.
Back to Kurumi. While I might improve the score of the show due to the last episode, it's a lot of fun to have their nasty, dangerous, evil girl around, kinda like Nagatoro, or should I say the other way around. Kurumi is awesome, and her goatee Lolita attire makes her so damn adorable. Now her backstory is a bit lame and predictable, betrayed by circumstances and used by the person who gave her power.
Oh my gosh. That's me?
How lame and cliche. Well, at least we get more of her pretty face. Alright, guys. Last episode really... Or at least we get more of her pretty face. Alright, guys. Last episode really saved the series. Ending a cliffhanger. Not only that, but we also find out Shido has died, and now we are turning time back to save him. And it's all Kurumi work. I love that info. She always has the best lines and the more interesting encounters. The villain is the one who always steals the show. Also, we're gonna get Date A Live 5. Whoa, these aren't popular. Not to mention Kurumi is completely nude in the 12th episode.
I've given it some thought, and all I have to offer you is my everything. Everything that isn't my spirit power.
It's obvious she's the most famous wife of the series, and the most beloved. I give Date A Live 4 a 7 out of 10. The beginning is okay, the middle is a boring mess, but the ending is a charm.
Origami? Or Miko or Nia?
That's our Shido.
Yeah, what an excellent guess.